Imagine having a personal assistant who never sleeps and can instantly gather insights tailored to your business needs. Sounds too good to be true? That's exactly what AI tools promise, compared to traditional Google searches. Whether you're a solo entrepreneur or leading a tiny team, you need fast, reliable ways to spot trends, find new customers, and make smarter decisions. In this video, we're breaking down how AI can handle deep research in minutes and why you might still need to lean on Google for certain tasks. Stick around, and by the end, you'll know exactly which approach fits your style, budget, and growth goals. Let's get started. Okay, so let's start with our traditional form of searching, and that's with good old Google. So let's do a search. I'm just going to search, should I be using AI in my small business? And when we hit enter, and if we scroll down, we can see our usual type of finds. We've got our sponsored ones at the top. And if you're like me, you probably tend to skip those. Sorry for the sponsors. And we've got what people also ask for, so we could drill a bit more information on them. We've got some of the results that will be, I would class as being top of the list as far as Google is concerned. That could be the closest to what we've actually asked for. So I may jump onto that page and then I can scroll down. I can start reading. I can start copying, pasting if I'm making my own document, and find the relevant information that whatever I'm searching for. I would then continue that same process page after page. We've got all good information here. We've got really good information as we scroll down. So that's our traditional method. Again, nothing wrong with that. It's been what we're used to. But what I want to show you next is a tool called Perplexity AI. And what I want to show you next is an AI tool called Perplexity AI. And I want to show you the same search I've just done on Google. So let's put that in. Should I be using AI in my small business? And what we're going to do first is search on the standard search, and I'll explain what that means shortly. So this is the first type of search we can do with Perplexity. As that is searching, I'm just going to explain a little bit how you can find Perplexity, and that's by going to perplexity.ai. You will be asked to sign in or create an account. You can use Google if you've got Google account to quickly get in there. And the good thing I like about Perplexity, I'm a small business. I'm a micro business. I know what the budget's like. So I only want to really use tools, or especially at the testing stage, ideally that are free or very low cost. And that's what my videos will always be about. So Perplexity, you have a free version, and that's what we are going to look at initially. And I'll go through some of the benefits on the paid for version. So let's look at the standard search that Perplexity has done for us. And if you think back to the Google search, we've just had those individual pages that we'll scroll down and individually click on. So us as the human, the only way we're going to find that information on is clicking page by page and grabbing the information that is useful for us. Perplexity as an AI is actually doing that for ourselves. So we've got all the sources up here. I'll go through those sources in a bit more detail shortly. It's given us a quick summary of the answer. So in theory, it's saying yes, based on the research it's done. It's categorized each one of these. So we've gotten the why, we've gone the how, some of the challenges to consider. So it is looking at the cons as well as the pros, and then actually giving us some actionable steps for moving forward. With that information, I can ask follow-up questions. So I might want to be specific in my industry. So how can AI be used in HR, accountancy, those sort of things, those sort of searches? So as I scroll down to the bottom, we've got some related searches that Perplexity suggests for us. Bear in mind we could be searching for a subject or a topic that we are just starting to learn. So this can help us with questions that we might not think of ourselves because we just don't know that yet. I've also got follow-up on maybe sections itself. So I might want to follow up more on actionable steps. We want to follow up on challenges to consider or subsections within that one. So I might want to, what does it mean by ethical concerns? And it'll expand on that for me as well. And if actually that just didn't seem right, and I highly recommend that you also do this, and that is rewrite it. Ask it to rewrite and see what else it comes up with. It might expand a bit further, it might learn a bit more and show us something that we just didn't see previously. We can copy that information before we do the rewrite and just keep on rewriting information, put that information together and, as I say, build up our own research document. I mentioned at the beginning this is a standard search by Perplexity, and there is some more powerful searches. We can see already the power that the standard search gives us and the time saving that Perplexity gives us over traditional Google searches. The amount of pages that we'll have had to search. And I did say, and I just nearly forgot, if I come down to these 3 dots here and click on my sources, I can actually see the 8 pages that it's actually searched for. And this is a good exercise to do as well, because I can actually see the resources that it's pulling this information from. So if this is a topic I know well, it's a good way of fact checking as well, because if there was a specific site in there that it's not for me, I don't trust it, or it's just, then what I can do is I can click on there, not picking on Forbes, no offense, but if that was one, I could remove that source. What it'll then do is rewrite that information without that source. So as I was saying, this is just the standard search that we've got in Perplexity. What I can also ask it to do, I've mentioned before I can rewrite, but I can now rewrite a slightly different way and choose another level of search. And that's where we've got the Pro Search. Now, the Pro Search is free and also paid for. It's free where you get 5 Pro searches a day. So the auto, you can search as much as you want. What I would call the standard search. You've got the Pro Search. On the free version, you can search 5 times. So a really good way to learn and understand this tool and see if it's going to be a good fit for your needs. And if it is, we're looking about $20 a month. And again, like anything, you can then measure that return on your investment. So I'm first going to show you the next level of type of search, which is the Pro Search. As it suggests here, this is going to search 3 times more the sources. So in our first search, we've had 8 sources. So let's try again with the Pro and let's put in that same search. You can see straight away we're already up to 30 searches. And I can probably see straight away the kind of quality of the detail that we're actually getting. Again, and the final search I want to do is on the rewrite, is on the reasoning tool. There's a couple of reasoning ones. I'm not going to go into great detail on those. There's separate videos on those. I've also done a separate video if you want to properly get started with Perplexity generally. The purpose of this video, as mentioned at the beginning, is just to use it as a research tool. So let's select the reasoning 1 tool. And again, let's ask that same question. Whilst that's doing that information for me, which I'm going to go through in a moment, you've noticed this little paperclip. We can attach images, we can attach text documents, PDFs, etc. And we can use that as our own resource also to ask questions and expand by Perplexity going on the internet and getting information for us. Okay, I want to just drop down this box here and actually go through how Perplexity as a tool is researching information for us. So we've got its normal way of doing things. So if I just drop that one down on the researching side of it, it's reiterating the benefit of using AI in small businesses. So again, it's doing that initial search where it's going off and gathering that information that it would do on this type of search. It's telling us that it's found enough information, so it's wrapping that part up. And on the previous searches, we've seen the results that we've got from that. Now then, I think this, and this is only really recently at the time of recording, been some new additions added to the tool. Now the reasoning is thinking more like a human. And if I go through each one, you can see it's an analyst. So it's analysing the information that it's been found here, i.e. what we had above us. It's then checking the previous answers to avoid redundancy. So what it doesn't want to do is duplicate the information, because there's nothing worse than getting the same answer. Then it wants to focus on new angles. So again, this reasoning, this thinking like a human, it's going to say, right, I'm going to emphasize practical tools that they can recommend to clients. I'm going to address common concerns like budget constraints, because I have told it we're a micro business. So of course, micro businesses do have budget constraints. And it's going to highlight other relevant things that it might be thinking it's worthwhile including. It does this all the way down in various steps. So it's looking at the search results again, that the user hasn't provided new ones. So rely on previous knowledge, because we haven't given it additional information. It's emphasizing automation. Again, another useful way that we can use AI in small businesses. It's including some actionable steps. And if we just skip the others, just to bring this to a close, it's concluding with a summary that reinforces the benefits without being repetitive. So it just wants to ensure the answer is concise but comprehensive, addressing both the pros and the cons of adopting AI in small businesses. So let's see what it's come up with. So again, we've got our summary of the answer, and then we've got, I'll not go too much into this section at the moment, but if anybody that knows code, then it's actually providing a code that you could use. So it's giving an example there of the type of thing that this can do. It can deal with code, but again, too advanced for the level that I wanted to talk about on this video. See, this time we're looking at low cost tools basing on that budget and so forth. So there's the 3 different ways that we can use Perplexity. We've got our standard search at the top, followed by our pro search, followed by our reasoning on that pro search. And I hope that demonstrates that we've gone from good old Google, which is still practical today, to where we're actually now going using tools like AI to get us that information. I want to next introduce you to another tool. The purpose for this tool is where I would say what we've just been looking at there is for quick research. A bit like Google, we can quickly put in a question and we can get instant results. Perplexity, similar kind of use case. We've got that quick result. But what if we want to actually take that to another level? What if we want to go a bit deeper? This could be for an article that we want to create. It could be just something completely new. We've got a new business idea, or we're actually maybe looking for gaps in overlaps of our own industry, or it could be completely new industries. What happens if we just want to really get in-depth knowledge about that, looking at everything? Okay. Well, the next tool I want to introduce you to is Gemini. This is part of the Google stack, and Gemini has a number of tools. The one I want to focus on in this video is the Deep Search or Deep Research. You can get to this by going to gemini.google.com, but I will hasten to add this tool, as all the Gemini tools are a paid for tool. There is no free version like we've just shown you in the Perplexity. However, you do get a free trial. You do get free 30 days to try this out. So again, I'd recommend you do that. Just a really good length of time that you've got to have a play and actually see, again, is this tool going to give you a good return for the information that you might be using it for? And you can again make that decision. You can make a commercial decision based on that. So as I said, let's go to the Google Deep Research. I'm going to stick with the same question. So should I be using AI in my small business? It's quite similar to what Perplexity maybe done before. It's actually explaining how it's actually going to do the research for us. One noticeable difference is it doesn't just go off and get that information first. What it wants to do is actually find out from us, is the information, or in terms of how it's going to research, is that exactly what we're looking for? Because if it's not, we can edit the plan and we can tweak it to, maybe narrow down exactly where we want to go or expand in another area if we don't feel it's been covered in this. So a really good opportunity to really get that search right. So again, it's going to research those websites based on those 6 points there. It's going to analyze the results and then it's going to create a report. So let's start the research. The screen splits into two. On the left-hand side, it's telling us exactly what it's doing. So it's telling us it's on it. Great. Soon, what we're going to get on this right-hand side panel is the websites that it's actually searching. And this will start off and maybe increase as it finds more sites to research. But this particular part of the process can take several minutes. So what I'll do is I'll not keep you hanging on. We'll come back to when the results are complete and I'll go through the document and the research it's actually created for us. Okay, so that is the search complete, and you will see on the right hand side the look, probably the feel of the results this time compared to, say, Perplexity is a little bit different. The purpose of using this tool was for that deeper research, and we've got categories that we can see here, or sections. Should I be using AI in my small business? Effectively, that was the question, wasn't it? So we've got the couple of sentences there just to kind of get us started, and then it's going through the what is artificial intelligence, the ways AI can be used, etc. And I'm just going to keep on scrolling down. You can see there's a huge amount of content here. We've got case studies in there, which are hugely powerful. Potential benefits of using AI in a small business. So if you can imagine, if this was something that you were genuinely asking a question and wanted to know about, I think by the time you've read this, you should have a real good idea. We just scroll down. We've even got a nice table that it's produced for us. We can export that into a kind of spreadsheet form if we wanted to use that. Again, we've got additional information and pros and cons followed by our conclusion. And just like Perplexity, we've got all the citations, all the sources it came from. We can get that by scrolling right the way down the bottom. So this researched 20 websites for us. We've got clickable links that we can jump onto straight away. I've also got in that particular section, we should have arrows here, for example. So if I want to find out where this particular information came from, I can click on there. So we've got two resources there that it pulled that information from. So again, we can do our fact checking. We can make sure that is the type of resource that we want to use. If I click in the opening docs, so again, remember this is Google. What it's going to do is it's going to open up in your Google account. So this is already created a document where it would save that for you. And again, now we've got it in a document form, we can see it is very much a ready to go article. Now, when I say ready to go, I know there's plenty of arguments that we shouldn't be copy and pasting AI produced content, and I'm completely with that. I'm not a marketer by any stretch of the imagination, but I do know the pitfalls of copy and pasting AI. The main pitfall for me, because I believe AI is at a really good standard now in terms of the information it's finding, and where I'm going with is, for me, the content is 90% ready. Some might argue for that, and that's fair enough, but what I mean by 90% ready is that the detail that's going to be on here is so good that the last 10%, what you want to be spending the time on, is actually fine-tuning this for your brand. That could be your personal brand, It could be the organization's brand, the business brand. And why do you want to do that? Because for me, it's so important that when somebody's reading information that you're producing, bear in mind, this could be an article on your website, it could be a blog, it could be information that you're putting into social media. You could even be researching this to create product descriptions. It could be for your sales and marketing, it could be for your sales process, for creating proposals, that sort of thing. So you want that tone of voice to meet what you stand for, what people know you for. There's nothing worse than when you've spoken to somebody and then you're going to produce them, I don't know, some content, as I say, it could be a proposal, and it just sounds nothing like them. There's nothing more off-putting than that. So be authentic. And for me, some might argue it's a bigger stretch than the 10%. You might want to put more in. That's a personal thing for me. Do what you feel fit with it. You understand whether that's going to work for you. But I would, would definitely suggest that you put that fine tone. Check the spelling from a UK perspective. We make sure that we swap the Z's for the S's. I know we are funny with our spellings, but again, it's such an easy spot now in the UK if somebody's using AI, because there's a lot of Z's. So make sure that you check those as well. So there you have it. 3 different ways to dig up business insights faster and smarter. Whether it's old-fashioned Google, nimble AI like Perplexity, or the deep dive power of Gemini, each tool can give your micro business a real edge in scaling up. Now here's the fun part. If you want to turn all that research into a learning machine, storing, organizing, and making sense of everything, my next video is for you. I'll show you how to use Google's Notebook LM to take what you found and level up your knowledge like never before. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.